We're out here in Seaside at the corner of Fremont and Obamaway. To come out and join us to stand up against white supremacy. I will be going live periodically throughout the day. I think there will be a few more speeches. So go ahead, like and comment and share this live, and then make sure that you have me on follow so you can know as soon as I do go live the very next time. That way you don't miss me or what's going on here or any of these speeches that are upcoming. I just wanted to let you guys know that we are out here again. We're at Obamaway and Fremont in Seaside. We're standing up against white supremacy and police violence. We're going to pause the calls to save black lives. You can go ahead and put in your search bar on Facebook, pause the calls, and you're going to find a group called Pause the Calls. It's here, it's local, and we are recruiting people to help us to educate the public on why it's a bad idea to call the police and what happens when you call the police to respond to a black body, and how quickly the police are to draw their weapons and pump multiple bullets into black bodies without any remorse or shame or regard to us or any of those other things.
I don't have much of a memory. But I do know one thing, I'm black, and I do know one thing, we have to stand up, and we need you all to stand with us. And I do know one thing, we have to demand change if we want change to happen. And I do know one thing, if we don't show up for justice, no one else will. So I can remember that.
There's too many names to remember, that's why.
It is. We're going to talk about the most recent names from George Floyd kind of forward, or from the most recent person was Andre Brown, shot when they were delivering a warrant, and the next one was a young lady that was 16 years old, shot in the back 4 times. The cop pretend like it's self-defense from somebody else, but who gets shot in the back? Micaiah Bryant, who gets shot in the back 4 times for a cop to defend anything, and she's, a child. So we have to do better. We really have to do better. And then we have Adam Toledo, who was shot, 13-year-old, I think he's Latinx, shot by the cops with his hands up in the air. Come on, somebody. Who does that? So
white supremacists do that.
White supremacists. Then we have the Dante Wright, shot getting back in his car, some warrant that he was served he never knew about. It seemed like a game to him, but his life is gone now. And these people are shot because they were black. It has nothing to do with anything else, because we got videos all over the internet where white folks are trying to stab a police officer and they don't get shot. We got white folks with knives and guns and they don't get shot. But the minute somebody is black, the code is shoot first, ask questions later. How many people know that you can't ask a dead man nothing? So that happens to us, and our lives are important. Our lives matter. Our lives are very important. If you cut us, we bleed just like you do. When it's time to use the bathroom, we have to go to the bathroom just like you do. Our lives do matter, and we put emphasis on Black Lives Matter because people say, oh, there's not a problem, oh, there's not this, there's not that. But how many people know there is a problem? We just had Audra do an interview of a young lady that's having a problem right there in Marina. And, it's on Audra page. You can look at that, and we'll mention it. We'll talk about it. But how many people really know there is a problem, that believe us black people when we tell you there is a problem? I know that's why you're standing here, because you believe us black people when we tell you there's a problem. And right here in Seaside, California, I won't announce any names, but I keep talking about this issue every now and then with this young man. And he had a problem with the cops. Somebody accused him of doing something he didn't do. Accused him of hitting on a woman, and he didn't do it. But when he was younger, the way they do us is, as young people, they set us up. When he was younger, they had took some pictures of him as a cop and claimed that he was doing something that he didn't do. Nevertheless, when he went to trial for this and got in court, how many people know that a white officer in the city of Seaside testified against him, and just because of the character witness, it was his word against the lady's word, he didn't do it, but just because of the character witness, Judge Panetta charged him with the crime. So we have to recall these judges. I know you guys love her because she's Panetta's wife. I know. I understand she's white. But we have to recall these judges, okay? We have to take them down off their seats, okay? We have to do something. We have to step up to the plate and do something. We cannot allow them to keep harming our people. The young lady that just did an interview that had a problem in Marina, she did an interview with us earlier before we started. She was working at Walmart. How many people know that the people at Walmart in Marina is racist and the police protect them? She's working at Walmart, and there's a man in Walmart going around calling her a nigger and the other black people that work there, nigger. Her boyfriend's there, a Latino guy. He's outside coming in to pick her up. This guy is coming out, tries to hit him with a hanger rod or curtain rod, and then turns around and puts him in a chokehold like he's an ex-military or ex-cop. The boy heard his neck snap, went to try to defend himself, and now he got charged with attempted murder and all kinds of charges because of the dirty police in Marina. They say Marina's not a problem, but I want you to know Marina is a problem, and it's constantly a problem, and it has to be, we have to stop overlooking the problem in Marina. So he tried to defend himself, but he's the one, because he was defending himself against a white man that was doing racial slurs, he's the one that got charged. The guy got cut. Can you hear me? Oh. Yeah. The guy got cut, but he's the one that got charged. And this is typical of what happens to us with police is the police will do the crime and we will do the time, especially if you're black. More so if you're black, and especially when you're brown. Most of the time, white folks get away with stuff with a pat on the back. They certainly don't get shot down in the street when they done killed somebody. They can kill 9 folks and go to McDonald's with the police and have a party and then go to jail. But we don't get to do that. How many people know we don't get to do that? They shoot us down on the spot if we look like something that should be shot. And that's not cool. That's not cool. The young man I was talking about in Marina goes on to get arrested after the fact. They don't call the cops. It wasn't that serious during the time that the incident was occurring. So they called the cops after he got shot, after the incident occurred. Now, why not call the cops during the incident? Why not call the cops during the incident? So the cops come, as they always do when it comes down to black people and Latino, and he was Latinx. They come after the fact and they want revenge. They arrest him and put the highest charges they can put on him. We can't wait on the justice system because the justice system in the country is really no good. And I'm going to tell you guys a secret for Monterey County. It has the worst justice system all over the country. It's been known. Do your research. Don't just listen to me. I mean, you know, I'm just Miriam Smith. So I might not tell you the truth, right? But do your research. Do your research. Do your study. Vet the cops, vet the information, and find out that Monterey County has one of the most corrupt systems in the United States. Of jurisdictional, the system of most corrupt jurisdictional system in our country. Our judges, our cops, they work too well together to take us down. Seaside is a part of it. Monterey's a part of it. Marina's a part of it. Especially Marina. They're never called into question. Salinas is a part of it. They're not called into question. Monterey County, most of the people voted here for Trump. So we have a lot of white supremacists here. Because, you know, if Trump can hire or put in office 120 some odd federal judges and not one be black, oh, I know y'all want to defend that, you know, oh, that's just, they were all qualified. How come only white folks qualified and not black folks? Come on, somebody. So we gotta look at this hidden racism that people don't pay attention to. It's hidden right in your face. Right in your face. We gotta pay attention to it. So when something happens in Marina and it's right up under our nose and you care about black lives, then you have to step up to the plate. There was no reason that this young lady house should have been busted into without a warrant. They broke into her house looking for the young man after the fact without a warrant. And not only did they do that in Marina, they also, she's sitting there with her phone in her hand, she was videoing everything, and they asked to look at her phone. And she snatched it out of her hand before she could pull it back. The girl has not got her phone back yet. She has something that downloads videos or something onto her iPad or whatever you call those things. It didn't get downloaded onto her computer because the cop erased her video she was videoing of the cop violating them without a warrant and busting into her house, hurting her mom. Right here in Marina, California, this happened about the 12th of March, and we got to do something. We can't just sit back and allow things to happen. We can't just sit back and let things happen. We have to make things happen in this community. We need to make enough noise so they say, we're not going to sit back and just let you treat our community members any old kind of way. We want to make sure, oh, you took it off. Let me see it. We want to make sure people understand that Pause the Cause is in the house. We're going to make a difference in our community. We're going to help Monterey County not always have a cop come out to escalate issues and cause problems and arrest, if a black person is there, arrest us for absolutely no reason just because somebody claims to do it. And we're going to make sure that Monterey County is not coming out to every single 911 call. We're going to make sure that in Seaside, Monterey, and in Marina. They don't need to show up. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. They don't need to show up to every single 911 call. They don't even need to show up to the traffic calls. Berkeley has it where they don't show up to the traffic calls. These masks, you need to wear them, and they just don't act right. Let me get one of these other kind of masks, y'all. You know, I want to wear this rat mask. I think everybody saw I can't breathe, right? So I'm gonna get a different mask. Hold on a second, because this one, for some reason, is not staying up on me.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Okay.
Oh, she's got extra back.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh.
I think this mask will do better than the other ones. Okay, so we want to make sure that whenever information goes out from here on out in our city, we're not just going to show up just to say we made it to the protest. We're not going to just show up say we made it to the meeting, but we're going to show up in forces and say we made something happen. We're going to be movers and shakers in this county, and we're going to make things happen. We're not going to sit back any longer and let things happen. We're not going to sit back and wait for things to happen. We're going to be a part of making things happen. Trust me and believe me on that. And I know I'm not standing by myself. I know I'm not going to stand by myself. I know that people are coming with me. Soldiers, we're building soldiers and groups of people that say enough is enough, and we no longer want to see it like this anymore. That will expose the hidden. How many people know that sometimes you got to expose black mold after somebody done cleaned it up? You got to expose it. It's going to expose itself after a while. But sometimes you got to go back and expose it. We're going to expose the hidden things. And see, racism is hidden in your face. And people don't want to expose it because it's their friends, it's their family, it's their grandparents, it's their mom and daddy, it's their brothers and sisters, it's their cousins. And they don't want to expose it. But we are going to expose racism. And the best way to do it is for the white people that are not white supremacists, that are not racist, to step up to their family members and to speak up in their homes and to speak up at their parties and to speak up at their holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas and say, no, we won't have none of that. Did you know that's racism? Did you know that's racist? Did you know just saying that, oh, but I got a friend, I'm not racist. That don't mean a thing. Your friend could be compromising for you. You definitely it definitely don't mean that because your friend is black that you're not racist. So we have to step up. Monterey County has a high level of racist people in this county. We've been doing some research, and the stuff is so hidden. They're ruining our young people's lives. They're destroying our lives, and they move these officers. The lady that Alita had to deal with in Marina when she was working at Walmart, Walmart, the cop that came and she dealt with her, that cop came from Salinas. That cop was already in Salinas, killed somebody in Salinas, and they moved her out here. And they moved her out to Marina. So we got a cop that killed somebody out here in Seaside holding a baby. And then after he did that, he turned around and shot a guy up by Seaside High in 2018, paralyzed him, and sooner or later that guy died. And they moved him to CSUMB. We got to stop this stuff, you all. We need your help to stop this stuff. Those were Latino guys, but still, we need your help to stop them from killing us, because they will kill us and cover it up. Like the young lady that we're talking about earlier, and I know I'm jumping around, but follow me, okay? Follow me and I'll lead you to something. But listen, the young lady we're talking about earlier, Leah, that had a problem in Marina, that young lady was put out of her house at she said, 17 years old. The same officer involved with putting her out of her house told her that he didn't care what happened to her, basically, and she tried to kill herself two months later. That same officer showed up at her house with this incident last month. How many people know that they can harass you and get away with it only if you let them? Black Lives Matter? Black Lives Matter?
Black Lives Matter!
Black Lives Matter?
Black Lives Matter!
Whose lives matter?
Black Lives Matter!
Whose lives matter?
Black Lives Matter!
Black Lives Matter?
Black Lives Matter!
We have information that people need to know. Seaside has only 8% black people in Seaside. We've done the study and found out majority of black people being arrested by the cops in Seaside. How come? The majority of people in Seaside are Latinos. They're the second most people that are being arrested, according to their white counterparts. We have to do something. We can't just show up, just stand and hold signs. Thank you so much for holding your signs. Don't leave with your signs, because I'm saying this. Keep holding your signs. We need your signs, because that makes a difference. But we can't just show up. We got to follow it to the end. We got to make sure that we demand change. We got to make sure they reopen these cases. Like that young Latino man that was holding a 10-month-old baby and shot 2 times in the upper torso area and the neck. He's gone. The officer lied and said that he was holding a machete. Do you know an officer here in Seaside inspected that, and they freed him of all claims, anything wrong? We got to stop that. We got to be a part of making sure the newspaper don't just put a bunch of stuff out and say somebody didn't do something. We got to vet the newspaper's information. We got to vet every officer that has complaints against them or that does something to violate people. We got to vet them. We got to make sure that the officers know that Pause the Cause, 831 Action Team, Black-led organization, organic organization, because we don't want no contaminations, moving the agenda of Pause the Cause initiative to save black lives and to save lives. Because how many know that Pause the Cause will not just save black lives, it'll save lives, it'll lower the crime level. Pause the Cause will also stop police from harassing and escalating things, because we as members in the community will show up to 911, non-emergency calls, and we as members in the community won't be jumping up the phone, jumping up calling the cops for everything, and then the cops come and kill us like they did Micaiah Bryant in North Carolina, shot her 4 times in the back. How many people know that if we practice this in our community, we can save lives? We can reduce crime. The crime will be less, because how many know that the people don't really do the crime? The cops do the crime and the people do the time. How many people know that? In order to cover up is to arrest you, and the word is, what you get arrested under is resisting arrest. Well, what were you arrested for in the first place? What was that all about? You know? So then they have to throw the stuff out like they did with my girls in Orlando. We went on a trip, and our trip was hijacked by a racist cop to Orlando, Florida, to Disney World. We get there, and we forgot something, and we were on our way to a surprise birthday party of my daughter that hadn't been out here in 10 years. She was meeting us there with her kids so that our family could meet. We get there, forgot something, so we have to rush to Walmart. We get in Walmart, we get what we need, and we come out, and one of the kids that were told not to get out the car was still in Walmart. So we have to sit in Walmart. We have to sit and wait about an hour. So we're in the parking lot. We're in the parking lot of Walmart. Okay? So while we're in the parking lot of Walmart, what happens next? My one daughter goes in there to get the young man, and she finally gets some page and finally gets them coming out. And then the cops show up, and the cops start coming out the door. Well, in his report, he said he was following the daughter that went in there because of a peace disturbance. But he didn't come and arrest her. He came straight to the one that was sitting in the car with me, and I was in the front seat, sitting in the car with me, came straight to her and started asking her questions. I said, I'm scared to death of cops because, you know, I can't, I'm not paralyzed, but I'm in this wheelchair and can't get around good because of the cops beating me up for somebody else. So the cops, I didn't know if it was a cop or not. I've never seen a uniform like this. It was a jumper, and it was green. And so I've never seen a green, but it looked like from a distance that it might be. So I said, roll your window up to a crack. And she wasn't rolling her window up fast enough. I was yelling at her. She couldn't hear me. I'm yelling at her and roll your window up just to have a crack. We don't know who this is. The guy comes to the door, but to the window, he doesn't identify himself. He does not identify himself. Gets to that window, don't identify himself, start talking to her. I'm yelling at her. You ain't got to say nothing to him. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Roll your window up. Roll your window up. And she don't hear nothing the cops saying because I'm yelling, right? I'm scared to death. If a cop come right now, you guys got to come cover me, come around me. Scared of cops. I want you to know that. I really am scared of cops. But I know I got to die some kind of way. And I know I'm going to eventually die. And I'm ready to stand in the front line, but I'm scared of the cops. Much rather somebody else shoot me than a cop, because that would be the expectation, right? So the cop's at the door, and the cop decides she's not doing or answering the questions. And in Florida, they have this thing that they can interrogate you and all that, but that's a violation of your constitutional right. So it's your Fourth Amendment constitutional right. They don't have a right to seize you without telling you you're free to go. But what they did with my daughter is they snatched her door open and snatched her up out the car. Tried to. I'm pulling her, the cop pulling her, I'm pulling her, the cop pulling her. And finally he let her go. And we're scared. By then she's scared to death. You know, she don't date nothing but white guys, and her babies are mixed. All her babies. You know, one of them's right there. But all her babies are mixed, and so she was scared. She ain't never seen nothing like that happen before. She got a degree. She one of those, you know, ain't nobody, as long as you do the right thing, ain't no, you know, one of those that trust that, then, you know, you can talk, you can be nice out of anything. One of those things, okay? I want to let you know it don't work for black folks. Y'all hear me? It don't work for black folks. I don't care how nice we are. I don't care how nice we are. They will still mess with us. They will still harass us. They will still bother us. So they took he snatched my daughter, she snatched away, and we drove up to the parking lot, to another area of the parking lot. And they came and arrested my daughter, gave her all these trumped up charges. All those charges have been dropped because they were lies, except for one. So she has to go to court next week on the 29th. We'll be raising money for that. To get back out to court, we have to raise money to get back out here. Certainly do hope if you see my name and you're here, we are trying to get back to, I don't want her to go by herself, so I'm going to go with her, trying to get back to Orlando, Florida, and trying to make a difference. And once we get back to Orlando, Florida, we will make sure that she has some support there in the courthouse. I've been in connection with people. But the other daughter was arrested with her for resisting arrest. Didn't I tell you code for picking on us was resisting arrest? She had 2 resisting arrests. Now the cops don't care who they mess with, who they destroy. So my other daughter had 2 resisting arrests and inciting a riot. Now that was just a joke. But Florida makes this big thing about riots, so now they want to tag black people with it. You know, you get tagged with inciting a riot. Anyway, all those charges have been dropped. That daughter doesn't have to go back to court. But the reason they came to the car was they thought she was coming to the car. She walked right past our car and went to my sister's car in the back. And the reason that they came to the car, they said, was because there was a peace disturbance. But now all charges have been dropped on the reason that they came to the car. And why am I saying this? Because it was a Fourth Amendment violation. And you have to have committed a crime for a cop to expect you to answer questions or to be able to even interrogate you or ask you questions. In the state of Florida, pretty much everywhere, but in the state of Florida, they have a lot more strict laws. They protect racist cops a lot more. But there was no reason to come to the car. No reason to ask her any questions. The only person they should have been questioning was my daughter, where all the charges have been dropped. So we go back, and the one that all the charges were dropped was 2 resisting arrests, and then the inciting a riot, which wasn't happening. The other one was, hey, Black Lives Matter! So the other one was also resisting arrest. 2 other charges that I don't know of. But one important thing to know is that when she got arrested and went to jail, it was mostly black women in the jail. Mostly black women in the jail. The other thing you need to know that's happening out there in Florida is most of them black women were charged with assault on a Leo, which is a law enforcement officer. Most of them. So it is a racket going on out there, and we need to open our ears and open our eyes for our community here and even the community out there. So we're going to be asking people for support, send letters out there, because what happened to my girl shouldn't have happened. Who hijacked somebody's trip and it's a vacation? And then they hurt my daughter. They assaulted her and rammed her head up against the garbage can when they snatched her out the car. And they did all this in front of her 5 kids. That's not right. Her 5 kids screaming and hollering while they're snatching on her for no reason and arresting her. And had to drop all the charges. They're trying to hold on to 1 charge, but they don't have a reason. They don't have anything. I just want to let you know how ugly the law is everywhere. And it's like that here. They do that here. They get away with stuff like that here. And you need to know that. So when somebody black tells you this is going on, believe them. Believe them. Get behind them. Support them. And let's move this agenda, pause the cause, so that we can have less cop involvement with the things that happen in the city of Seaside, in the whole Monterey County, all the cities, so that we can have less involvement with police causing problems and escalating things. Because that cop, the cops in Orlando, the cop that arrested my daughter in Orlando told my daughters, they said when they got to jail, is we can write whatever we want on this and do whatever we want to do. In Florida, you have to pay to be there every day. You have to pay for your food. You have to pay for all this stuff. And when my daughter got out of jail, she had lost her job. She had been there for years, lost her job. And they said being in jail is no excuse or reason to hold the job. Cops are ruining people's lives, arresting them when they're black and destroying them, and they know they're doing it. They know they're doing it. That cop said he can do whatever he want to do, write whatever he want to write on their thing. So we got to stop this. This is what you call hidden racism. This is the racism that's being covered up everywhere you go. They immediately released the video on Ma'Khia Bryant 6 hours after she was shot in the back, because they were trying to defend the white racist police officer that shot her. And he did not have to shoot her. So folks, Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
Black Lives Matter!
Whose streets are these?
Our streets!
Whose streets are these?
Our streets!
Whose streets are these?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets are these?
Our streets!
Whose streets are these?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets are these?
Our streets!
Whose streets are these?
Our streets!
Whose lives matter?
Black Lives Matter!
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 When our lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When our lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When our lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When our lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When our lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Fight back!
What do we do?
Fight back!
What do we do?
Fight back!
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter!
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter!
Black lives, you matter here.
Black lives, you matter here!
Black lives, you matter here.
Black lives, you matter here!
Black lives, you matter here.
Black lives, you matter here!
Black lives, you matter here.
Black lives, you matter here!
Black lives, you matter here.
Black lives, bit of a transition for this moment. We just
Justice! What do you want?
Justice!
When do you want it?
No!
What do you want?
Justice!
When do you want it?
No!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
No!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
No! Pause the call!
Save Black lives!
Pause the call!
Save Black lives!
Pause the call!
Save Black lives!
Pause the call!
save Black lives.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Black lives, they matter here.
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 Black lives, they matter here!
What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? Pause the call. Save Black lives. Pause the call. Save Black lives. Whose lives matter? Whose lives matter? Whose lives matter? Black lives matter. Defund the police. 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 Whose lives matter? Black lives matter. Black lives matter. What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Pause the call. Save Black lives. Pause the call. Save Black lives. Pause the call. Save Black lives. Whose lives matter? Black lives matter. Whose lives matter? Black lives matter. Whose lives matter? Black lives matter. Pause the call. Save Black lives. Pause the call. Save Black lives. Pause the call. Save Black lives. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Defund the police. 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 Pause the call. Save Black lives. Pause the call. Save Black lives. Pause the call. Save Black lives. Black lives, they matter here.
Black lives, they matter here.
Black lives, they matter here.
Black lives, they matter here. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Now. Justice. Now. To save Black lives. To save Black lives. Black lives, they matter here. Black lives, they matter here. Black lives, they matter here. Justice. Now. Justice. Now. Defund the police. Defund the police. Defund the police. Refund the community. Refund the community. Black lives, they matter here. Black lives, they matter here.
What do we want? When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter!
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter!
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter!
Pause the call.
To save Black lives!
Pause the call.
To save Black lives.
Pause the call.
To save Black lives.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Defund the police.
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 Pause the call.
To save Black lives.
Pause the call.
To save Black lives.
Pause the call.
To save Black lives.
Black lives, they matter here.
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 Black Lives Matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black Lives Matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black Lives Matter.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Defund the police.
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 Defund the police. Black lives, they matter here.
Black lives, they matter here.
Black lives, they matter here.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Pause the call.
To save black lives.
Pause the call.
To save black lives.
Pause the call.
To save black lives.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Defund the police.
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 Black lives, they matter here.
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 Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Pause the call.
To save black lives.
Pause the call.
To save black lives.
Pause the call.
To save black lives.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Black lives, they matter here.
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 Pause the call.
To save black lives.
Pause the call.
To save black lives.
Pause the call.
To save black lives.
Defund the police.
Defund the police.
Defund the police.
Defund the police.
Refund the community.
Refund the community.
Refund the community.
Refund the community.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Pause the call.
To save black lives.
Pause the call.
To save black lives.
Pause the call.
To save black lives.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Black lives, they matter here.
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 Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Daniel, come over here, huh? Black lives, they matter here.
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 Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Black lives, they matter here.
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 Black lives, they matter here. Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
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 All we want you to do is stop killing us. We want you to stop killing our youth, our young people, our kids. Stop killing us. All we want you to do is bring us to jail if we need to go to jail for justice and stop killing us in the streets. Whose streets are these?
Our street.
Whose streets are these?
Our street.
Whose streets
Our street.
Who streets the beat?
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 Our street.
Stop killing us! Stop shooting us down! Stop killing us! We want to live! Stop killing us! Who streets the beat?
Our street.
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 Who streets the beat?
Our streets.
When black lives are under attack, what do? When our lives are under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
When our children's lives are under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do?
Stand up, fight back.
When lives are under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black lives are under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
When our lives is under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
When our children's lives are under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black lives are under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
When our children's lives are under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do?
Stand up, fight back.
When our children's lives are under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back. Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back.
What do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do?
Stand up, fight back.
When our children's lives are under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
When our children's lives are under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black lives are under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do?
Stand up, fight back.
I can't hear you.
Stand up, fight back.
I can't hear you.
Stand up, fight back.
They can't hear you.
Stand up, fight back.
They can't hear you.
Stand up, fight back.
What do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black lives are under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black lives are under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black lives are under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
Black lives matter.
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 Coast to coast. Coast to coast.
To save black lives.
What do you do when you pause the car? Yeah. What do you do when you pause the car?
Save black lives.
What do you do when you pause the car?
Save black lives.
What do you do when you pause the car?
Save black lives.
What do you do when you pause the car?
Save black lives.
Say what?
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 Save black lives.
What do you do when you pause the car?
Save black lives.
What do you do when you pause the car?
Save black lives.
Say what?
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 Save black lives.
What do you do?
Save black lives.
What do you do?
Save black lives.
What do you do?
Save black lives.
What do you do when you pause the car?
Save black lives.
What do you do when you pause the car?
Save black lives.
What do you do?
Save black lives.
What do you do when you pause the car?
Save black lives.
What do you do when you pause the car?
Save black lives.
Save black lives. Save black lives. Save black lives.
Save black lives.
Save black lives.
Save black lives.
What do you do?
Save black lives.
What do you do?
Save black lives.
I can't hear you.
Save black lives.
I can't hear you.
Save black lives.
What did you say?
Save black lives.
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 What do you do when you pause the car?
Save black lives.
What does it mean to pause the car?
Save black lives.
What do you do when you pause the car?
Save black lives.
Why do you pause the car?
Save black lives.
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 Pause the car.
Pause the car.
To save black lives. Pause the car.
To save black lives.
Pause the car.
To save black lives.
Pause the car.
To save black lives.
All over the world, pause the car.
To save black lives.
All over Monterey County, pause the car.
To save black lives.
All over California, pause the car.
To save black lives.
What do you do?
Save black lives.
What do you do?
Save black lives.
I can't hear you.
Save black lives.
They can't hear you.
save black lives.
Hold the coast.
To 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 save black lives.
People, they can't hear you.
Save black lives.
They can't hear you.
Save black lives.
Hold the coast.
To save black lives.
Hold the coast.
To save black lives.
Hold the coast.
To save black lives.
What do you do when you hold the coast?
Save black lives.
What do you do when you hold the coast?
Save black lives.
What do you do when you hold the coast?
Save black lives.
What do you do when you hold the coast?
Save black lives.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
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 Black lives, they matter here.
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 Black lives matter.
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 Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Everybody, everybody. Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Let's see you out there. Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Black lives, they matter here.
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 Black lives matter.
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 Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Black lives, they matter here.
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 On the coast.
To save black lives.
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 What do we do with on the coast?
Save black lives.
What do we do with on the coast?
Save black lives.
Black lives matter.
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 Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Black lives, they matter here.
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 Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
I normally don't speak. I'm normally the one behind the camera, or whatever else I'm doing. I don't like to be doing this. Yeah? So here's the deal. White supremacy is killing the planet. Full stop. White supremacists are murdering our planet. If we don't stop white supremacists from what they're doing, we won't be here anymore. Okay, so I'm going to try to be really quick about this, but I don't know that I know how to do that. I had some things written down, and most of them are about white supremacists. Can I take a moment real fast to gather myself together because I'm nervous and I don't do this.
I'm the same way. You got this. You got this.
You got it.
But white supremacists are killing us. White supremacists have infiltrated the FBI, the military, the CIA, our police forces, and as a matter of fact, some would argue that white supremacists are the ones that designed them in the first place and didn't have to infiltrate anything because it was theirs to begin with. Why is it theirs, they say? How did they get there? Where did their wealth come from? Well, white supremacists have this thing called neoliberal capitalism. Neoliberal capitalism is not sustainable without slaves along the pipeline, the theft of land, and natural resources. We are on stolen land.
That's right. Woo! We're on stolen land.
We are on stolen land. And with that theft of land where we're living, white supremacists have all of this wealth. Does the wealth belong to them? I would argue that it does not. For the simple fact that they started their wealth on stolen land. And then they went and stole a bunch of people and put them on plantations to work that land because they were too lazy to do it. Okay, so they got animal husbandry. Oh, let me slow down for a minute. Animal husbandry. Who's familiar with animal husbandry? Yeah? You know that animal husbandry has all those, you can get diseases when you're working with animals. These Europeans brought their diseases with them and wiped out or committed genocide on the natives that were here, the indigenous people, the First Nations people, and wiped out. Who knows the percentage of natives they wiped out? Anybody here? 90 some odd percent. Thank you, whoever said that. Of the natives that were here on this land, they killed them, either with their diseases or their weapons of mass destruction. And they had no remorse. And then they got all the Africans over here to work the land. They took some other Europeans that were enslaved through their prison systems and brought them over here to work the land. So after that, they did something called nation building, and they created something called whiteness. And they created something called blackness. Okay? A social construction. White supremacy said, we're the best people on the planet, and as a matter of fact, we're probably the only people on the planet, because these other animals running around aren't human. We can shoot them, we can arrest them, and we can put them to work. We can beat them, we can whip them, we can destroy their lives, and it doesn't matter because they're not human anyway. It's hundreds of years since then. It's hundreds of years since white supremacists came over here, stole land, stole natural starting wars. As a matter of fact, white supremacists have us in, I think, about 7 wars currently. Currently. White supremacists are in our military and calling for action in places we don't even know how to say their names. They're in Africa, under something called AFRICOM. Okay? Do you know why they're in Africa? White supremacists are in Africa because Africa has natural resources that we need for our electronic devices, and white supremacists do not want to pay a living wage to have those natural resources extracted and put into our supply chain. And that's why I started there with that. White supremacy, neoliberal capitalism, or as we know it, capitalism is not sustainable without slaves along the pipeline. The prison industrial complex that these police are working for and with are tasked and incentivized to lock us up. They do something called shoot us multiple times and take our lives to scare the shit out of us so that the rest of us will comply. The rest of us will put up our hands and go quietly with them into the prison industrial complex where we will give up our labor for pennies on the dollar. McDonald's, Victoria's Secret, the military industrial complex, and multiple other major corporations. Walmart has several farms that prison laborers have to give up their labor on pennies on the dollar, if they're even paid at all.
And all license plates.
No license plate? Oh, yes.
All license plates.
All the license plates. All license plates you see.
I was there. I made a few.
We're going to hand this gentleman the mic here in a minute. No? You got a story to tell, brother. Look, it's messed up. Most of the stuff that's manufactured in the United States right now, I would argue, is manufactured inside of our prisons. The reason why you can go to Walmart and pick up a $1.40 t-shirt is because there is a slave in the pipeline. Period. White supremacy is the reason why. Capitalism upholds white supremacy, and I'm telling you this, like Miriam says, follow me, I know I'm all over the place, but I'm going to lead you somewhere. There's an app you get to download today. It's called Buycott. B-U-Y-C-O-T-T. You're going to take this app on your phone and you're just going to scan every item before you put it in your cart. Once you scan it, that barcode, it's going to let you know whether or not the item in your hand has slaves in it. Is there blood in your item? Do you know? Is this app? You can find out. Oh, look, I bet that the white supremacists mad because we're out here. They get mad. They get real mad. Because here, this is what I'm telling you. You want to push back against the white supremacists? Stop buying their products. Stop patronizing their establishment. Buy black. Buy Latinx. Buy local. Stay out of these major corporations. Do a little research. Find out where these multinational, transnational corporations are, who they are, and what they're about. Right? The military I mentioned before. The military, so Joe Biden, y'all gonna not like me too much, but Joe Biden, who's supposed to be pulling troops out of Afghanistan by September 11th, what a magical date, isn't gonna be pulling out the mercenaries that the United States has situated over there, because those mercenaries threatened to sue the United States if we ended the war contracts that they have too soon. The fuck? We're talking about Afghanistan and mercenaries, hired hitmen by the United States running around in the Middle East killing folks so they can steal their natural resources. That's what white supremacy does. It cannot survive without stealing from black and brown folks. Period. They need our labor, they need our resources, they need our time, they need our energy, they need our hearts, they need our love, they need us to be broken so they can continue the facade that capitalism works for anybody but themselves. Capitalism only works for white supremacists. I'm going to say it again. Capitalism only works for white supremacists. Capitalism is not sustainable without slaves along the pipeline and the theft of land and natural resources. If you don't believe me, Google it. If you don't believe Google, EBSCO it. If you don't believe EBSCO go visit a librarian. Because I'm guaranteeing you, some of them are going to tell you what's what.
Woo! Yeah!
Alright, I'm going to just drop my Facebook. Please look me up, Audra Walton. We're putting together something really amazing and awesome that'll help us stop calling these police, because if you call the police on a black person, police are going to shoot first and ask questions later, if they even bother to ask. Because more than often than not, they just make stuff up anyway. Okay? So when you stop calling the police, okay, here's the easel up. Take a breath. Somebody help me with links. We're going to go to pause on Facebook. We're going pause the call. Community 831. Community before cops. Is there another one out here?
Agents of change.
Agents of change. All right, Instagram is Agents of change 831. Yeah, somebody else is going to shout out some links. But if you follow in Community Before Cops, Pause the Calls, or Agents of Change, or myself, you'll find all the links and we'll get them to you. I think, for right now, I'm going to give this to the next person. All right, perfect.
Thank you so much to Audra Walton. Everyone give it up for Audra! And normally I like to pass the mic to people of color in leadership like Miriam Smith and Audra, but they both spoke, and I'm here speaking on behalf of Community Before Cops. Let me hear y'all say, defund the police!
Defund the police!
Did you guys know that Salinas PD gets 43% of the city budget? Can you imagine if we would invest that back into the communities that they commit violence against?
Yes.
Let me hear you say, defund the police!
Defund the police!
In a couple months, they're going to be doing their fiscal budgets. We all need to come out and call into those meetings and demand that those funds be divested from police and reinvested into the communities. I'm a very nervous speaker. If you're interested in getting involved, you can go to communitybeforecops.com, or like Audra said, find Community 831 or Agents of Change. We are a bunch of mutual aid networks and organizers working together in solidarity, in collaboration, as allies, as comrades. Everything that you're seeing in the news is happening in our communities. There is a cop on Monterey PD who is fond of improper chokeholds. He was just stripped of his policing power and arrested because he was driving. Woo! Yeah, he was arrested. He was driving drunk and disorderly and hit a bunch of cars on his way home. Look it up in the Monterey Weekly. I forgot his name. He and his colleagues are in cahoots. They are working together. They are protecting each other. They are targeting black and brown people in our communities. Let me hear you say, defund the police!
Defund the police!
Just real fast, I want you to go to something called blackagendareport.com. Blackagendareport.com. You can also go to Black Alliance for Peace. And if it's not .com, it's .org, and I'm sorry.
Is that spelled B-L-A-C?
B-L-A-C-K, exactly the way.
B-L-A-C, black.com.
B-L-A-C-K, Black Agenda Report. Black, it's the Black Agenda Report.
It's the Black Agenda Report. Thank you, Audra. Alright, now I want us to say their names. Let me hear you say, Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown.
Makia Bryant.
Makia Bryant.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Sandra Bland. Say their names. Andrew Brown. Say their names.
Say their names.
Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown.
Say their names.
Say their names.
Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown.
Say their names.
Say their names.
Makia Bryant.
Makia Bryant.
Say their names. Say their names. Makia Bryant.
Makia Bryant.
Say their names.
Makia Bryant.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Say their names. Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo. Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo.
Say their names.
Say their names.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Say their names.
Say their names.
Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown.
Say their names.
Say their names.
Sandra Bland. Sandra Bland. Sandra Bland. Say their names. Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin.
Say their names. Makia Bryant.
Makia Bryant.
Makia Bryant.
Makia Bryant.
Makia Bryant.
Makia Bryant.
Say their names.
Say their names.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Say their names. Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo.
Say her name. Breonna Taylor. Breonna Taylor. Breonna Taylor. Say their name. Sandra Bland. Sandra Bland. Sandra Bland. For those of us who do not know, Sandra Bland was pulled over for not using her blinker. She was then escalated by a police officer, arrested, and murdered by the cops who arrested her, and they tried to pass it as a suicide. Say her name. Sandra Bland. Sandra Bland. Sandra Bland. Sandra Bland. Say their name. Adam Toledo. Adam Toledo. Adam Toledo was a 13-year-old boy with his hands in the air, unarmed. The cops reported that he was an aggressive and violent and armed black man. But he is a mixed-race Latino boy who was shot and killed in cold blood. Say his name. Adam Toledo. Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo.
Say their name. Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor was sleeping in her bed. She broke into her house and shot her. Then they arrested her boyfriend, who shot back at the police in self-defense. Say her name. Breonna Taylor. Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Say his name. Sorry, Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright. Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Say their name. Makia Bryant.
Makia Bryant.
Makia Bryant.
Makia Bryant.
Makia Bryant.
Makia Bryant.
Makia Bryant was a 14-year-old girl who called the police asking for help. They shot her because they believed she was armed. They shot her in cold blood, but she needed help. Say her name. Makia Bryant. Makia Bryant. Say their names. Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown.
Say their names.
Say their names.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Say their names.
Say their names.
Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo.
Say their names.
Say their names.
Sandra Bland.
Sandra Bland.
Sandra Bland. Sandra Bland.
Sandra Bland.
Say their name.
Say their name.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor. Say their name. Makia Bryant. Makia Bryant. Makia Bryant. Say their name. Justice for George Floyd.
Justice for George Floyd.
We have accountability, but we do not have justice. Justice for George Floyd.
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 Say their name.
Say their names.
Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown.
Say their names. Makia Bryant.
Makia Bryant.
Makia Bryant.
Makia Bryant.
Makia Bryant.
Makia Bryant.
Say their name.
Say their names.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Dante Wright.
Say their name.
Say their names.
Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo. Say their name. Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Say their name.
Say their names.
Sandra Bland.
Sandra Bland.
Sandra Bland.
Sandra Bland.
Sandra Bland.
Sandra Bland.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Defund.
The police.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Defund.
The police.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Defund.
The police.
Defund.
The police.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Defund.
The police.
Defund.
The police.
Take it to the streets. Defund the police. No justice. No peace.
Take it to the streets, defund the police. No justice, no peace.
Take it to the streets. Defund the police. No justice. No peace. Take it to the streets. Defund the police.
No justice, no peace.
Take it to the streets. Defund the police.
No justice, no peace.
Take it to the streets. Defund the police.
No justice, no peace.
Take it to the streets. Defund the police.
No justice, no peace.